Good afternoon, everybody. It's Monday, July 12th, and this is episode 37 at Pat's Stamping Place. So let me know if you're here. And it now says I'm live. Yay! Welcome. Let's see, let's make sure everything is working and up to speed. So I don't know if it's been, whoop, there goes the air conditioner. I don't know if it's been raining where you are, but it's certainly been raining a lot here. I was at lunch with some old friends on their patio, so we were able to sit outside and eat, hopefully between raindrops, but I think it's going to rain again. So anyway, welcome. And I don't see anybody here yet, but I've got a lot to show today, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So if you are late, catch it on the replay, and it will also be on YouTube shortly after I finish the live. All right, so first off, lots of things to talk about today. The mini catalog should be coming in the mail if you're a customer of mine shortly before the end of July. And I know it says the mini catalog July to December, but it's actually going to be August to December because of supply issues and such with our suppliers. You know, people are not always going to work every day. Let's see. Hi, Linda. Hi, Sue. Make sure you can hear me because it says my connection is not real good right now. So we'll see if it goes back to blue. Switch back to blue. But anyway, it's going to be August to December. Hi, Fran. There we go. We're back to blue. Okay, good. And Gloria, hello. Welcome. Anyway, and then celebration this year. So if you're a customer of mine, you should be getting one of these catalogs. And if you're watching and you're not, and you don't have a demonstrator you work with, I would love to send you one. So I can't show you the inside yet, but just as a, thanks Linda, that's good to know. Just as a sneak preview, I think next week will be closer to the end of July, and I believe I'm going to do a sneak peek and do a Christmas in July. As much as we hate to think about it, Christmas is not that far away. So let's get going. So if you saw what I'm going to do today, let me put these away. It is a fun fold, and using the hand-penned petals, it's kind of like a tongue twister, suite of products. And I showed some of this back in May, I believe, with a Mother's Day card. So I will show you what this is in the catalog. Hey, Nancy, just listen in. Hand-penned is on page 104 and 105 in the catalog. You don't even see a real good image of the designer paper here, but it is on page 131. It's also on sale, excuse me, during our designer series paper promotion through July and August. So that is a good thing because it's $9.78 instead of $11.50. Other things in this suite, the stamps, the dies, of course the paper that I just mentioned, and the hand pen memories and more card pack, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. So it's just a beautiful suite of products. See, I can close that and show this real quick. The paper is drawn by our artists, and watercolored and then committed to paper. I don't know how they do it, but it's just beautiful. So here we have floral and then a more subtle design, 2 of each design. So we've got mint macaron, pale papaya. Here we've got some of the Highland heather. And this one shows blushing bride. This one shows mint macaron also. And this one is daffodil delight. And then we've got hints of misty moonlight in here, as well as garden green. So it's just gorgeous. I'm finishing up one pack. This is my second pack that I actually just opened so I could show you all those pretty colors. So what is next before we start on the project? I want to talk about kind of a sleeper product in that suite, and that is the Memories and More. These get overlooked, I think, and you see Memories and More and you think scrapbooking or memory keeping. And if you don't think that that's what you want to do, you overlook this, or not saying you, but people overlook this product. And this one happens to be absolutely awesome. Let me show you what you get. These cards are actually larger than our normal. They are, I believe, 6 1/4 by 8 1/2 before being folded. So they're a larger card. Yeah, 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. And so these cards are all the same, but they could be cut down to use for other things if you want a smaller size, like the regular 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 size. These are the envelopes that go with them. And I believe there are 20. I'm not sure. I have to look that up. Yeah, I believe there are 20. I'm not going to sit here and count them all. With perfect designs on here, a lot of people will take these and cut up the envelopes to have even more cards. And then, but wait, there's more. This is one of those wait, there's more promotions. Hi, Carol. Thanks for joining. You get these self-adhesive stickers that can go on the cards. Some of them have sentiments on. You can add some of your own stamping and sentiments. So I think there's 4 sheets of those. You get these large, again, these are 6 by 4, yeah, 6 by 4. And again, these are double-sided. So if you like one side, you might like the other side better. Hi, Lisa. Hi from Pennsylvania. Welcome. Thank you. And look at these. Some of these are upside down. I've played with them so much. So they don't just need to be, you can even color these with the Stampin' blends. They're awesome. And then I'm almost done, little ones. And these would be for like pocket scrapbooking. But again, I'm seeing them from a card maker standpoint. Not that I do that much scrapbooking. And again, these are double-sided as well. And all of this for $10. This is considered Memories and More. It's not one of our kits in our new kit program, but I would say that these would qualify as a great kit to add to an order. And for example, this was a card that I made from some leftover paper from that pack. Took one of these little ones that says every now and then. And golly, every now and then, it's time to say hello. You can put whatever you want inside. And that also has something on the other side. So these are just absolutely awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Here's some others here. Love Grows Here. Some Highland Heather that you could color if you want. Enjoy. I think it's a great bargain, a great bargain. Okay, let's get going. And I had kind of, what do I want to say? Not nightmares last night, but trying to figure out the best way to present this card and make it easy for you. Okay, so I did my lesson plan and thought about it all night. I'm going to show you a couple of cards that I made with stamping with this 3-panel fun fold. Here's one. I think this was the first one that I did. It required the use of the Stamparatus to get everything to line up and open up. To thought you could use some sunny thoughts today. That was the first one. Here's some part of the leftover paper. Oh, I'm sure that's a spam call in the background. So there's one. Here's another one that's also stamped, again with the daisy large background stamp. This one done in Night of Navy and for birthday wishes. But I thought, let's try something with the designer paper since it's on sale. So that was my struggle while I was sleeping last night, thinking about designer paper. Do you ever go to bed thinking about stamping like I do? Oh, probably not. But anyway, that's what I do. And that's what I love to do. So this is the card. I'm going to show you the card that I'm going to make today. And here it is. So we've got designer paper on this panel, back here, and here. All right, so hang with me. I'll try to go slow. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I'll answer as best as I can because I see it right in front of me. So here we go again. And here we go again. And with this one, I just have a regular, some of the paper that's left over from the 12 by 12 is made into just a regular Stampin' Up! Envelope. So that's where we're going with this. All right, so what I start with is a regular piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So I have 2 card bases here. And what you're going to do is to marry the 2 of those together. So that's where that size comes up with, okay? So 2 regular card bases, put them together. Now before, and I've already done that on this one, before you put them together, you want to take a sliver. Now a sliver is less than 1/8 of an inch. You want to take a sliver off of both of these, okay, both of them, so that when you put this together, it won't buckle and it will fold easily. Hey Rose, you're gonna love this one. So that's the way they will go together. So again, two pieces, regular cards that you use all the time. Take a sliver off of both sides and put them together. And I've already done that. So now let's get some adhesive going here. And there we go. And this might be one of those where you think that you go back and watch the replay. I do that a lot of times on videos when I get ideas. And actually this idea came from a stamper. She's not a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in, I believe, New Zealand. So now we have this. So I'm going to make sure that that is well done. And it's going to fold like this. So if you can see how that's going to fold. And you want to take your bone folder and make sure those creases are nice and put that together. And I've used the liquid glue in case I needed to move it around a little bit, but I think that's going to hold well. Okay, so there's that. Now the fun part begins. We need our paper trimmer. Okay, before I go on, this, and the reason this became a bit of a challenge and a teaching challenge is because this is now 12 3/4 long, and our designer paper is only 12 by 12. So that's where the challenge of cutting up the paper came, to make it what I hope is easy. So now we need to get that part taken off from here to here, and half of 5 1/2, because this is now 5 1/2 this way, half of 5 1/2 is 2 3/4. So I'm going to take my paper trimmer and make a little notch here at 2 3/4, just a little notch. And by the way, these little pens, I've shown them before, I think, Frixon, Frixon, from Clicker, Pilot. It's a Pilot pen. These are erasable. Go on Amazon, get them. They're great. I use this for all my envelopes and notes and stuff, and it clicks down like this. Anyway, I can erase that when I'm done. So now what I want to do is cut from this little mark that I just made up to this score line for my back panel. So here, basically, this is another piece of paper that I have. What I'm going to do is cut this out. Okay, if that makes sense. So that's probably the hardest part here. And you just lay this down on your paper trimmer where your little mark that you made is in the ditch, unless somebody has a better word for that, little ditch of your trimmer. And you can always score it and draw a line and use scissors if you want. And then line this part up here at this point. So just make sure that you just move your paper to line it up. And I've got a little bit of a glare here, but I think that will work. And then cut it off. Keep in mind that this middle part has 2 pieces of paper, so it's going to cut maybe a little bit harder there. So I'm getting my score blade out of the way, and push that down, and this is what I have left. Now this part here can be used to create a tag, and that's where I got the tag left over for this from this card. So use those little pieces of paper if you can't bear to throw things away. That's me. So this is what's left over there. Now I have this, and it's going to fold like so. All right, are you with me? Now I'm going to erase that little line there. And sometimes I think this is easier to erase than a pencil, because sometimes pencil erasers can get kind of funky. At least mine can. All right, so now we're ready for the next step. And this is what I was dreaming about last night. Yes, sirree. I was dreaming about how to show this paper this way. What I came up with first was coming up with these panels here, because the paper that's going to go on this largest panel is actually 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. although I'm going to trim a little bit off so I've got a little edge around there. So it's going to be like 1/8 of an inch off. So actually that was one panel. Then here's another one. This is the one that's going to go on the back side of this. And I just created cards as a little template. So you could do that too and just draw them off on however you want those to go. And then save these and cut your paper that way. That might be an easier way for you to think of that. But I was trying to think of something a little bit easier. Okay, easy is not always the same for everybody. So that's why I wanted to come up with an alternative plan to make this work. So that's one idea. And just as a matter of making this, anytime you get designer series paper, save that back cardboard. That's how I made those. And that's how I'm going to show this next part for you. Okay, so that's going to be our card. I'm going to put that aside for right now and talk about this paper. All right, this is how I spent my morning. And I guess it's my teaching background. I love to come up with ideas and a little lesson plan here. So here is a piece of paper that I think came from last year's celebration. Okay, so this is 12 by 12. How am I going to cut this to make it fit in that card? First of all, you're going to take off 3.5 inches from the side, the first side. Take off 3.5 inches. Okay? And this is what I'm left with. Next, I want to cut a piece that is 5.5. Let me take these off of here and then I'll talk about them a little bit later. I want to cut a piece that is 8.5 by 5.5. So this part's gone. And I want to take this part off here. 8.5 by 5.5. Then we're going to cut a long angle just like I took off on the cardstock. Okay. This part here is going to be left over at the bottom. This part is basically, I didn't measure this one, I guess, 4.5. It's actually a little bit 4.25 by 6.5. Because from one of these panels, either one of these, I need a piece that is 5.5 by 4.25. That's going to become the back panel. This is pretty much the only waste that's on here. Although if you can think of something to do with it, go for it. This part can be saved and used on cards. You've got enough here, not enough to make an envelope, but you could have an envelope flap. You can also use this part for making an envelope flap like I did on our envelope. Okay? So, before I move along, I want to give you another tip. Our multi-purpose glue, if you've ever wondered why it's really multi-purpose, you can add adhesive to the back, let it dry, don't put it on your project, let it dry, and it becomes removable. And that's what I did before I left to go have lunch with friends. So I can keep this on here for another teaching experience and know what those are for. So that's what this is for. They stick right on there. They're almost like making your own little Post-it. And this goes back up here. And this is here. And, whoops. this is here. So, does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if it makes sense. So, I'm going to get my designer paper that we're going to use for this project. And I chose this one. It's got a nice, pretty background on the other side. Keep in mind what is on your opposite side. If there's a design on your paper that needs to go in one direction or another, you'll need to take that into account. This one, I think this little scallop thing could go either way. So I'm really not going to worry about it with this. I just want to get the cuts in. So again, my first step is, get this trimmer back, is to cut 3.5 inches off and set that aside to be used for something else. You know, we don't like to throw away designer paper at all. Okay, so here's that 3.5 inch piece. Now what I'm basically left with is a piece that is 12 by 8.5. So now I'm going to take this 8.5 piece here. This was this part up here at the top. And got these in these little panels, so bear with me. 8.5 by 5.5. So that's what I'm going to do here. Take this, and it's already 8.5 here. So I want to take this to 5.5. All right. So this is basically going to become the two panels, the center panel, the middle panel, and the front panel. And now I need a piece from this that's left over that's going to be 5.5 by 4.25. And it currently is 8.5 by 6.25. So I'm going to take any way you do that, whether you follow that template or not, I need a piece that's 5.5 by 4.25. So, and I'm not at this point worrying about the design on the back. So there we've got our 4.25 by 5.5. So I've got a little bit different leftovers than what I showed on the template, but I don't think it's going to make any difference based on cardstock or designer paper that you have left over. All right, now I need to get this triangle part in here. So we're at 5.5. 5.5, half of that is 2 3/4. So I'm going to make that little mark again. At 2 3/4, and cut that up to this point. So I get that triangle again. That's not really a triangle, but whatever it is. You got the idea there. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time. This is a little bit more detailed than what I typically show on Monday, but I've just been so excited about this card design, and I wanted to use the designer paper. So now we've got this. Again, use that for something if you want to use a little piece of it for whatever. And now we have a piece that is 8.5 that needs to be cut in half at 4 1/4. And I think you'll see how this goes together. Phew! Wipe my brow on that one. think we're done with the trimmer. So now what we have, before I put it on the card base, is this. This is going to go here. And this is going to go here. So there are the panels for our 3 folds. And now we just need to glue them on. There's only one more little step, and that is to give a little bit, so I will need the trimmer back again, sorry, to get a little bit of an edge around there so it doesn't go right up to the edge. Because you know we always like to have a little bit of white space around there. So I am going to cut a little bit off, but let me show you how this is going to go on the card. So this will go on here and get glued on there. This is going to get glued on here, and this is going to get glued on here. So with just a little bit of figuring it around with that template, it's very easy to do. And let's, you know, face it, you could take this same design and just stamp on it. Stamp here, stamp over here, and stamp here with some flowers or some florals, and have a perfectly beautiful card to send to somebody with your sentiment going in here. And then there's still no space, nothing here. So you could write in here too if you want. Okay? So that's the plan. Now, all I'm going to do, and then it will go together very quickly, is to take 1/8 of an inch off of each one of these. That little 1/8 of an inch is going to make a big difference then for putting the card together. So I'll do that. I did the top and the side so that that's going to go on here. Okay, on this piece, I'm going to do the same thing. It's better if you've got your flat end up here at the corner or at the top. Just 1/8 of an inch. Then you don't have to worry about the cutting on the angle. Okay, so that's going to go here. And then one more, 1/8 of an inch here. And get that angle out of the way, 1/8 of an inch here. And we're ready to put it together. Now I'm done with that. Okay, now let's get some glue, some adhesive going here, and putting together. What do you think? Not as bad as you thought, or was it worse? It's not something that maybe goes together the first time exactly the way you want, but I hope I explained it well enough. And with my being a teacher, I'll show it to you again if you need to go back and review anything. So let's put this on here. And basically the only thing you need to be concerned about is if there is a design on the paper that needs to go one direction or another. And I did sacrifice one piece of retired paper where it went the wrong way. So that's the only thing. And now this piece is going to turn over and go here. And it wouldn't have made any difference if our little design went the other way. It just turns out that it did go the way I wanted it to. So this is going to go on the back. Add your adhesive back here. And then I do have the stamping and cutting on the die cut with the Stampin' cut and emboss machine. I do have that part already done. So this is what I wanted to focus on today. Getting the design done and getting the card assembled. So there we've got that, and now we just need one more. Just get them on the right side. And I really like this card. Okay, I like to put my adhesive on the cardstock. I always like to put my adhesive on, usually I like to put it on the smaller piece, but in this case I like to put it on that card so I know exactly where it's going to go. And a little bit more came off here, so let's wipe that off. All right, and then put this on here. Hope that's not going to ooze out. And there we go. Thanks, Nancy. There we go. Woo! A 3-panel fun fold. Room for a sentiment. Now let's get it decorated real quick. So this isn't taking that long, actually. Not as long as I thought it might have. Okay, these are the dies that go with this stamp set as part of the bundle. These are all the dies. And the stamp that I used from the stamp set, which is this, and it's all watercolory look, a lot of open design. And I used this one. And let's pop this little bit out here. So again, just to save some time, I did take that step ahead of time and get that done. And get this out of my little box here. Okay. And so I've already colored this, and it had some blue in it. So I don't know if we have blue flowers someplace, but there's the blue. Oh my goodness, I hear thunder. Oh dear, more rain. So there's that. And then I've talked about this stamp set before, or actually the die set more than the stamps, is this Hippo and Friends. And we've got the little hippopotamus and stuff. I'm not exactly sure of the page of that. But the stamps aside, these are the labels and the dies that are in this die set that make it worth every penny, I believe. So I've used this middle one here, and then these two little tabs are for cutting on the edge of one of your labels and putting ribbon through, so they're ribbon slides. So it's very, very versatile. So I did cut that out. Ooh, I don't know if you can hear that or not. They said thunderstorms this afternoon, so it's probably just as well that I'm finishing up pretty quickly here. Okay, here's one. Let's see, which one shall I use? This one. Thanks, Sue. Or the blue one. I think I'm going to go with the blue. I like the blue. I like the blue with the yellow. And here's one of those little tags or labels, whatever you want to call it. Oh yes, to clean a funky eraser, use an emery board. I never thought of that. Thanks, Rose. That's a great idea. I haven't needed to do that with this because I think this pen that goes, or eraser that goes with this erasable pen, that's all I use it for, so it doesn't get funky like pencil would, but I will definitely use that idea. Great, thank you. So here we've got this little tag. I had also cut out some in the pale papaya to put behind this, but there's not enough pale papaya in this designer paper, and I don't really like the contrast of that. So I think I'll just use the white and go with the blue flower. And the sentiments in the stamp set are small and rather dainty. We've got a lovely thanks. Anything is possible, feel better friend. So it's got some nice little sentiments. The one on my original sample has feel better friend, but I'm going to leave this one blank for perhaps something a little bit different. So let's add this to the card and finish up. We've got some thought I put some dimensionals in there. Let's grab some dimensionals back here. I grabbed the minis, so I have to use quite a few. Little mini dimensionals. So I hope you liked this one today. Follow the replay if you need a review. And I need to get information back on my blog too. I kind of got away from blogging. Before I take that off, I'm going to add some pale papaya ribbon. Love this new designer ribbon, and we've got 2 little holes in here, which make it nice and easy to add a bow. So let's put that through here. Add a little bow. Rose, you are so right about Stampin' Up! Has the best paper, designer paper, cardstock. It can't be beat. So there's a little bow. Let's see if I can tie a bow on camera. Maybe I didn't make that quite long enough. We'll see here. Might just be a knot. Okay. And this is, I love this ribbon. Yes, I do love this ribbon. So it doesn't come out wonky. I think I got it. I think I got it. Yay. Okay. Yeah, I cut it just a tad bit too short. But that's okay. Let's see. All right. It's upside down, but that's okay. It's a bow. Oh, I like that. That looks cute. And there we go. Now let's add some adhesive to this. And since I'm popping up the dimensionals on the, or popping up the flowers, I won't put any dimensionals on this. And here we go. Yay. Take these little dimensionals off of here. And there we go. Okay. Kind of perfect. Make sure to not do what I just did. You don't want your dimensionals to go where it's going to stick up onto this panel and not open. So I need to pull that off real quick and move that down. I shouldn't have put dimensionals up there. So now I think we're safe. Okay, there we go, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me today. So there's the card. and I will get an envelope made for that, and there we go. So next week, come back for Christmas in July. I don't know yet what I'm going to do, but I've got some new things to show, and we'll go from there. So have a great rest of the week, and enjoy and stay dry. Bye-bye.